Good afternoon and welcome to the Hyder Center here at Creighton Prep for this district semifinal matchup between the Omaha Bryan Bears and the number 25 ranked, nationally ranked Creighton Prep Junior Jays and the number 2 team in the state, the Creighton Prep Junior Jays. Should be a good one here today. The road to the state championship game starts right here. 5 victories separating 28 different teams in Class A across the state of Nebraska. Between now and a state championship, Junior Jays looking for number 14, their first one since 2018, and the Bears of Omaha Bryan, the visitors today, looking for their first ever state championship. So Tyler Reedy and Brendan Preisman here to bring this one to you for the district semifinals, and the fun starts right now. It's been a great regular season, but this is where it's going to get interesting and very intense down the stretch here.
It certainly does. I mean, you look at the games these teams played earlier this year. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Prep beat Bryan 86-54, but in my opinion, this is a different Bryan team. Abdi Bashir, one of the Bryan players who was not available for that game, he's scoring about 11 a game his last 5, and this Bryan team clearly has a high offensive ceiling. They just beat Omaha Northwest last night, 81-58, and forced 19 turnovers in that rout. So this is a team that could give Prep trouble if they play well.
Yeah, Bryan's going to be interesting, but Creighton Prep, what a week they had over the past 2 weeks or so. The last month really has been excellent for them ever since that second Bell West game, beating second ranked in the state at the time, Millard North, on Thursday, February 18th, and turning around and holding fifth ranked Omaha Central to 39 points last Saturday night on the 20th of February. And now here they are, ranked number 25 in the nation, but Coach Lukey said at practice the other day, none of what they did last week matters now. It's about preparation, execution, and beating these Bryan and Northwest teams. It would have been Northwest had they won last night, but instead it's Omaha Bryan taking on Creighton Prep here today, and we will have starters and tip-off for you after the national anthem. Welcome back to the Hyder Center district semifinal matchup here between Omaha Creighton Prep and Omaha Bryan. Let's bring you starters for this afternoon's matchup. First for the visiting Omaha Bryan Bears, number 2, Taiwan Terrell, a senior point guard at 5'9". Number 13, Darwin Lofton, a senior guard at 5'10". Number 15, Jalen Spears, the leading scorer, around 16 points per game. He plays at the wing, a 6'4" senior. Number 24, George Back. He plays in the post, 6'4" junior. And number 25, Chaz Colum, 6'2" senior forward. And then on the other side for the Junior Jays, you can probably guess the starting 5 by now. Number 3, Justin City, the senior guard at 6'2". Number 4, Brendan Buckley, the senior guard at 6'3". Number 11, AJ Rollins, the leading rebounder, senior forward at 6'6". Number 12, J. Wiley, the senior guard at 6'3", and number 21, Luke Jungers, leading scorer at 12.6 points per game. He's a junior forward at 6'8". From these two starting lineups tonight, Brendan, who are you keeping an eye on?
Well, for Bryan, ordinarily I'd say Lam Kwani, but he's not in the starting lineup. Maybe you come off the bench for this team. He's one of the few players in the metro area that can match up with A.J. Rollins. But for the starters, it'd probably be Jalen Spears. You mentioned averaging 16 points a game. Had one of his worst performances of the year against Prep earlier, only scored 8 points. He's scored in double digits his last 7 games, so he's clearly on a hot streak. He's going to have to continue that hot streak against the great Prep defensive guards if Bryan wants to move on in these districts. And then for the Jays, what else can you say about Luke Jungers, averaging 13 points a game, top 20 in every shooting stat in Class A right now. Such an efficient shooter, and at 6'8", almost impossible to guard. He's probably the candidate for a breakout game tonight against these guys, even though he's already had plenty this season.
Oh, he had a season high last year in the district semifinal game against Lincoln East with 21 points. We'll see what he can do today. It'll be A.J. Rollins and Chaz Colum to tip it off, and it goes toward the Creighton Prep basket. Bryan able to retrieve it, and they go right to the basket right away with Jalen Spears, who has the first 2 points of the ball game for the Bears.
You see there the speed of Jalen Spears. Not necessarily a great shooter, but when he gets to the hoop as quickly as that, anything is possible. And a great tip by Chaz Colum, too. Out jumping the taller Rollins to get the ball to his teammates.
Open three. There's Jungers, the man you just talked about. Can't get it to go from downtown, and the rebound is pulled in by Bryan. They'll race the other way with it. Bears pushing the pace early. There's Colum right to the basket, and it's a 4-0 start for Bryan. How about that? Just 35 seconds in, 2 quick baskets for the Bears.
There's certainly no fatigue on that Bryan side right now. I thought one of the things that they would have to do was to keep the pace down, considering they played just yesterday, but they're putting the pedal to the metal right now, and it's working.
There's a steal. Jalen Spears comes up with it. He'll settle down for the Bears, drop it back to number 2, Taiwan Terrell. A minute into this one, Omaha Bryan off to a nice start with a 4-0 lead over the number 25 team in the nation. Terrell against City. Over to number 13, and there's a hard fall there. Jungers is going to be called for the foul, as going to the ground hard was Chaz Colum. It'll be a foul on the floor against Jungers, his first foul. And with 6:53 to go, it'll be a baseline inbound for Bryan. Connor Buckley will come into the game for Jungers before that, though.
Maybe a little bit of frustration developing for Jungers. Probably didn't expect this, and I don't think we did either.
Here comes City the other way for Creighton Prep. 6:45 to go in the first quarter. Myjay Wiley finds City at the top.
Good defense there, but on Spears in the post. A lot of long guards on Prep, and they use that to their advantage.
Myjay Wiley on the far side. Prep still looking for the first basket of the game. Brendan Buckley. Bryan not giving up any easy looks here, forcing the Jays into a long possession. Connor Buckley back to Brendan Buckley.
Looks like the Bears are in a 1-1-3 right now, or something like that.
City inside. Connor Buckley has a little bit of space, now has to kick it out. Wiley with an open look, and he gets it to go. 3-pointer for Myjay Wiley, and the lead has been cut down to 1. 6:10 to go.
That's the danger of collapsing into the post against this Prep team. It worked for a while, but when you leave Myjay Wiley that open, you're going to regret it.
So here are the Bears with it now. Chaz Colum's going to make a decisive drive.
What
Nice
a pass.
late pass, and the basket is good for number 24, George Back, his first 2 points. And Omaha Bryan is up by 3.
Bryan having a lot of success penetrating. Prep's going to have to step up that defense on the interior if they want to get this lead back.
3-point shot. Brendan Buckley too strong, but there's Rollins with that long reach getting the offensive board. And the Junior Jays will be able to reset now. Connor Buckley moves in. Tough shot, gets it to go. First 2 points for Connor Buckley, and it's a 1-point game again at 6-5.
Prep's 4th in Class A in offensive rebounds. They get so many extra possessions off those, and on that one, Connor Buckley's able to capitalize.
Kick it out. Here is number 2, Taiwan Terrell with it for Omaha Bryan. Now in the corner. 5:10 to go. That is Colum back up top. Colum again with it. Not a ton of touches so far for Jalen Spears, the leading scorer, as Colum goes right in with another basket. Omaha Bryan continues to drive in easily on Creighton Prep, and they're up 8-5.
Colum's listed at forward, but he's only 6'1", and he's deceptively fast. Able to get past, I think it was Brendan Buckley there, and cut to the hoop.
And there's a finish for Myjay Wiley, and it's a 1-point game yet again, as it's now 8-7. 4:40 to go in the first quarter. 5 early points for Myjay Wiley.
Prep has to start beefing up the defense.
Driving in, running into some traffic, and near steal for Prep, as that was Spears who got caught in some trouble. And we're going to have a foul here called against Creighton Prep, their second, as it's on Connor Buckley on the inside. So with 4:31 to go in the first quarter, it'll be another inbound from the baseline for the Bears. And it goes to Jas Colum, up top to Taiwan Terrell. Inside, Colum again, with Rollins in his face. The shot doesn't go. Rebound pulled in by MyJ Wiley. And here he comes the other way, over to Justin City. 4:15 to go. Wiley and City play catch at the top. Now inside, Connor Buckley. Kick it out. City's got an open three. City's got to make. And Creighton Prep's got the lead at 10-8, their first lead of the ball game, halfway through the first quarter.
Good shot there by Justin City. Not the greatest three-point shooter on this team, 34%, but when he's that open, just like Maje, he's going to hit it.
There's a three-pointer made from the corner. An answer for Omaha Bryan. Taiwan Terrell from the corner, and it's 11-10. The Bears keeping the pace just fine with this great defense of Creighton Prep. What have you seen from them so far as we go to timeout?
One of the things that I thought could be an issue was that, well, Bryan played just yesterday. They're probably going to be a little fatigued, and that's going to play to Prep's advantage. But maybe what playing yesterday did was it shook off the rust for them. Yeah. Now they're used to playing. Their bodies are still in the game state of mindset, and Prep's got to get their minds and their bodies into that this is an important game, this is for the season mindset. Bryan's already there. Prep's not there yet, and that's why this score is so close. And Bryan's defense has also been playing really well. Prep likes to work inside out, but the swarming 2-3 that the Bears are putting on right now, it's making it impossible for the ball to even get inside to get that inside-out action. So it's great defense, and Bryan just looks like they want it more than Prep does right now.
Yeah, we'll see if it continues. Excellent start for Omaha Bryan. Justin City with the ball for Creighton Prep. 3:45 to go in the first quarter. This will be MyJ Wiley on the near side. Back to Justin City. Junior Jays have hit a couple threes so far. Brendan Buckley, Justin City, he has one of them. Back to Buckley again. He's gone 0 for 1 from downtown. Now Wiley, City again at the top. The Prep guards playing catch here on the perimeter.
Rollins still doesn't have an offensive touch. They got to get him involved sooner or later, or they're going to get in big trouble.
Here he is, Rollins. Kick out to City in the corner. Still nothing developing offensively here for Prep.
Great
Connor
defense
Buckley
by George back on Rollins, too.
Wiley will go in on the baseline. Jump shot is off the mark, but he's got his offensive rebound off the tip. Wiley goes decisively in and gets it to go with the and one. Creighton Prep back in front, and what a start for MyJ Wiley. 7 points in the first 5 minutes as he'll head to the free throw line.
It's down to offensive rebounding. Rollins was in there getting position. Ball went right to Wiley, and he used the great second effort to score. Only averaging 8 points a game, sometimes one of the forgotten starters for Prep. But he might be one of the most key pieces considering his unselfishness, and he is doing a lot of work for Prep on offense right now.
Free throw is good. MyJ Wiley with 8 early points. He is off to a phenomenal start here in this one. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Taiwan Terrell. Bears trailing by 2.
Defense has to stop the drives now.
Here is Lam Kwani in the game for the first time. Nice crossover move there. Rollins will dive for the steal, and they will call a jump ball. Possession will go to Creighton Prep with 2:48 to go. 2:48 to go in the first quarter. It'll be an inbound for Connor Buckley, as Rollins able to come away with the basketball there.
Lam Kwani now in for Bryan, and he's averaging about 14 points and 6 rebounds. The matchup between him and Rollins is something you got to look for on both sides, because if one of them wins it decisively, it could be the game.
Justin City to Brendan Buckley. A.J. Rollins. Nothing yet from him. Justin City to MyJ Wiley. Back inside. Here he comes. Rollins with the left hand. Creighton Prep goes up by 4.
Great offensive possession by Prep. They drew Kwani out of the lane, and then Rollins cut from the perimeter.
Working along the baseline. Tough pass. Buckley got a hand on it. And now Lam Kwani's going to step into a 3 from the top. That one's too short, and Connor Buckley's got the rebound. City races the other way with it off the pass. Cuts to the left, and now we'll peel back with 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Brendan Buckley across the court to Justin City. He will take a 3. That one's no good. Rebound went off a couple hands, and it eventually comes to number 13, Darwin Lofton. Now Jas Colum.
Look at the
There's
speed.
that speed again. He races right around Brendan Buckley for a second time and gets the layup to go. Jas Colum dazzling in the early going here with 6 points.
They got to figure out how to stop him because the drives for Bryan have been what's killing Prep defensively. Even with Rollins in, they haven't been able to stop the layup from falling.
Connor Buckley, Justin City all alone for 3. Yes, sir. Justin City from downtown again. He's got 6 points, and he's got the Junior Jays up by 5. 1:15 to go in the first quarter.
Ooh, what a move.
3-point shot. That one's no good from Terrell, and it's rebounded by Brendan Buckley. He feeds MyJ Wiley up ahead, lost the handle. City's right there to clean it up, and that's going to be a foul. City's heading to the line for 2 free throws. So with 1:04 to go in the first quarter, Junior Jay is starting to become a bit more active in the paint here on the offensive end. City with 2 free throws coming up here. On the season, he has been a 72% free throw shooter, and he gets the first one down. 7 points for Justin City as Luke Jungers will finally come back into the game. That was a prolonged break after the early foul. Brendan Buckley will head to the bench for Prep. Bryan will make some changes as well. Spears is back in the game, along with Abdi Bashir for the first time. Second free throw coming for Justin City, trying to make it a 7-point Creighton Prep lead. Make it 20 points in the first quarter. It's been a good offensive first frame here for Creighton Prep. Second one up and good. Justin City with 8 points in the first 7 minutes, matching MyJ Wiley for the team lead. So here's Bryan now with 55 seconds left in the first quarter. Taiwan Terrell with Jungers on him at the top. Lam Kwani gets it to Jalen Spears. He'll make a move, stops up, jump shot is good. Jalen Spears with 4 points. And it's a 20-15 ball game. Prep will head the other way with Justin City. 37 seconds left.
One of the keys I had for Bryan was that they'd have to get Spears going quickly. Already got 4 points.
And Wiley trying to kick it out there as he went airborne is going to be called, or rather he's going to draw a foul as it's against Jalen Spears. That'll bring Brendan Buckley back in the game for Prep. A.J. Rollins will take a seat on the bench. 30.7 to go in the first quarter, and Wiley is going to head off. He's limping pretty badly, calling for a substitute, and that substitute is going to be Casey O'Malley. So the trainer, Bill Kleber, will check out MyJ Wiley on the bench, and Casey O'Malley will come in for the inbound.
That could be a big deal for both sides of this ball game. Wiley might have been the most successful guard so far tonight, and if he's out, Prep's going to have to rely on an untested junior, Casey O'Malley. And he's shown that he can perform in the big moments, but this is different. This is win or go home.
Yep. Junior Jay is going to hold for the last shot, it would appear. 12 seconds to go as it's in the hands of City. Now he finds O'Malley. 8 seconds on the clock. City with 6. Buckley with 4.
Oh
Buckley
my.
for 3. Buckley no good. But the putback from Connor Buckley will force a foul with 0.7 of a second remaining. So a great effort there by Connor Buckley to get that offensive board and give the Junior Jays a chance for 2 more points from the free throw line.
Great play there by Connor Buckley. I mean, averages 3 rebounds a game, and considering he comes off the bench, that's an incredible sum, especially for a guard. He just seems to always find position.
First free throw, no good from Connor Buckley. Here comes the second, trying to make it a 6-point lead for the Junior Jays to close out quarter number 1. This one's good. 0.7 of a second left. Lam Kwani will throw up a prayer. That's going to come up well short. And after 1 quarter play, maybe a little tighter than expected, but the Junior Jays have certainly done some work offensively. They lead the Bears of Omaha Bryan by a score of 21-15. What did you see from these two teams in this first quarter, Brendan?
Well, considering I didn't tell any of these teams my keys to the game, they're playing into them surprisingly well. For Bryan, I said that what they'd have to do was get Spears going and get the bigs in foul trouble. They haven't really gotten Prep in foul trouble yet, but what they have done is they've got Spears going, and they've had a lot of successful drives. That's why they put up 15 points on the scoreboard. And then for Prep, what I said was work the ball inside and let the guards penetrate. But the Bryan defense so far did a good job preventing that penetration. So instead, Prep's guards were just firing away from 3, and it turned out to work. That's why they lead by 6. But they're going to have to figure out how to stop the driving guards of Bryan, especially Chaz Cullum, if they want to win this game by more than 6.
Leading scores after the first quarter of play for the visitors for Omaha Bryan. It is Chaz Colum, the guy you just mentioned. He has 6 points off of those drives to the basket. And then Jalen Spears, the usual leading scorer, has 4. Taiwan Terrell has 3. And number 24, George Beck, has 2. And then on the other side for the Junior Jays, Justin City and J. Wiley each have 8 points. Excellent first quarters from them. Connor Buckley has 3, A.J. Rollins with 2. Bit of a surprise, the 2 leading scorers, Luke Jungers and Brendan Buckley, have been held scoreless so far, but the offensive production still coming for Creighton Prep. So good to see there if you're a Junior Jays fan.
That's one of the things that this team is really used to. You mentioned it so many times. This team has a lot of guys that can step up whenever you need them to. And Bryan appears to have that too. Chaz Colum had a great first quarter. Lam Kwani, the leading rebounder, didn't even come in until about halfway through the first frame. But yet they're still right in this ballgame.
Tough drive to the basket for Jalen Spears, and they're going to call the foul on the floor there before he got the shot up. The shot went in, but the foul was called prior to it. A.J. Rollins is going to replace Connor Buckley, so Prep will go with the 2 big lineup here for the time being, as the Bears will inbound from the baseline. Here's Lam Kwani at the top, over to Jalen Spears. J. Wiley set to come back in for Prep. Good to see after the injury, but Jalen Spears with a 2-point basket for Bryan. He's up to 6 points now, and it's 21-17.
Just some great power there on the drive by Spears. And even Brendan Buckley, one of the better defenders we've seen this year, hasn't really been able to slow him down yet.
Brendan Buckley with 7:20 to go in the first half. Over to Casey O'Malley. He's going to drive in. Nice pass to A.J. Rollins. He bobbled it for a moment, and now it's kicked out off the rebound.
O'Malley.
Yeah, great work by O'Malley. Luke Jungers as the possession gets extended for Prep. Justin City over to Brendan Buckley. Looking for a screen from Jungers. That does not work. Now Justin City trying to race around Terrell.
Bryan's defense extending the perimeter. They're forcing Prep to avoid the inside because they just can't get the ball in without risking a turnover.
Brendan Buckley to Justin City. Casey O'Malley. Omaha Bryan forcing another lengthy possession here out of Prep. Brendan Buckley to City again. They're just not letting the Junior Jays penetrate into that interior. Brendan Buckley, as it remains on the perimeter, that pass is tipped out of bounds off the hands of Colum as they try to get it to Jungers in the corner. Possession will stay with Prep.
The active hands from Bryan have been doing a great job too.
We're in the district semifinals, not the finals. Raz wants me to tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things that Bryan has done is they've had some active hands too, so Prep doesn't necessarily need to penetrate if they can just get the ball into Rollins and Jungers, but they can't even do that because Bryan's wings are making it so difficult.
Luke Jungers through a crowd. Shot came up well short, as there was a mass of bodies there for Bryan. Here they come the other way with Spears. Thinking about a 3.
Wow.
Goes right around City. The drives to the basket continue to pay dividends, and it's a 2-point game as Spears now has 8 points.
Prep might need to start thinking about switching to a zone at some point soon here. Bryan hasn't shown that they can shoot from the outside yet.
Kick out. Wiley too strong for 3. Spears with a rebound and a foul by Luke Jungers. That is his second, and the intensity is there from Omaha Bryan, hanging right with the Junior Jays here today.
Jungers already taking a seat, and you can see the frustration on his face. He's kind of become
scoreless and 2 fouls for him.
He's become the team leader, but he has not, to this point, performed like one yet. And it's a 2-point game now, thanks to Jalen Spears. Prep really has to start figuring something out.
Oh, nice cut there. Jalen Spears got behind the defender, draws the foul after the pass from Lam Kwani, and Spears is heading to the line for 2 more free throws, so he is starting to take over in the second quarter.
That's 2 on Connor Buckley now, too.
Okay, Connor Buckley called for it. So Spears will shoot 2 free throws with 5:46 left in the first half. First one is too strong, as Alex Bullock is getting set to come in for Prep. I believe it'll be for Connor Buckley, so with the early foul trouble for a couple guys, Junior Jays having to use some bench pieces. Alex Bullock seeing some earlier action than expected.
Well, if it works at this point, and right now the regular defense for Prep is not working to stop Jalen Spears. Even on that last play, sure, he didn't get the layup, but it still resulted in points for Bryan because he had to be fouled.
Spears goes 1 of 2 from the line. It's a 1-point game yet again. Junior Jays lead 21-20. Pass was tipped, still got over to Justin City. Now MyJ Wiley, Brendan Buckley, Alex Bullock looking for it in the posts as Buckley will back out. Now finds MyJ Wiley inside for Rollins. Tipped as it was intended for Bullock, and now Abdi Bashir will take it the other way for Omaha Bryan. 5:15 to go. They've got a chance to take the lead with a basket here. Bashir still has it. Now finds Spears at the top. 15 against 15 as Bullock matches up with him. Spears going to take a three, and that one comes up short. City's got the rebound for Prep. 2-on-1 potential here. Wiley will take it himself. Wiley will get it to go. And the lead is 3 as Coach Lukey calls a timeout for Creighton Prep. Exactly 5 minutes to go in the first half. It has been an intense first half as Omaha Bryan has closed the gap back down to a 1-possession game. What adjustments do you think the Junior Jays need to make to try and fend off these scores from Omaha Bryan?
Well, I think that last play by Alex Bullock was a great job of defending. Even though it was a pretty decent look by Jalen Spears, he missed, and that's been one of his trouble spots all year is three-point shooting. He's 46% field goals on the year, but 52% from 2. So he's much better when he gets inside the arc. And Bullock there gave him just enough space that he thought he could get away with the 3, because he's more willing to give up a potential 3 than a guaranteed 2 right now. And I think that's what Prep should do for all the guys. Like Chaz Colum, he's been driving on basically anyone they put him. Give him a little bit of space. Let him shoot. If he starts making it, then you can go out on him again. But right now, Bryan hasn't shown that they can make those deep shots. So if you're Prep, you got to start forcing them to.
With that last layup, MyJ Wiley has already reached 10 points on the afternoon for Creighton Prep. 10 of the 23 for the Junior Jays. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Omaha Bryan has possession here as they're wiping something off near the Bryan bench. And we will resume play here. Bears inbounding from their own baseline. Spears will get it into Terrell. 5 minutes to play in the first half. Close one here between Bryan and Creighton Prep. Taiwan Terrell matched up with City at the top. He'll push Spears to the inside. Now gets it to Chaz Colum. Spears on the near side. Lam Kawani, big against big on Rollins. Kawani will drive in. Rollins gets help from Buckley. The shot does not go, and Rollins pulls in the rebound for Prep.
Good defense there by Rollins. Kawani trying to use his mass to get inside, but Rollins not letting him. Division I tight end, showing the strength there.
Alex Bullock with a nice catch there. Tried to feed Rollins on the inside, and that's going to be a foul as Alex Bullock and A.J. Rollins, the 1-2 punch at receiver and tight end throughout the football season, proven to be a pretty effective 1-2 punch on the inside here for Creighton Prep as they've drawn a couple fouls. Wiley will inbound for the Junior Jays here. 4:26 to go. Bullock on the inside, trying to get free, and he gets swatted on the inside. I believe that was Kawani. Spears was in there as well. He comes out with the basketball and gets the layup on the other end. Jalen Spears with 11 points, and it's a 1-point game.
Defense to offense that quickly. Alex Bullock quickly finding out that Lam Kwani isn't like the corners he was mossing all year. A little bit bigger than those guys.
Justin City to Brendan Buckley. Martell Evans set to come in for Creighton Prep. Rollins going right over the defenders. Can't get it to go with the right hand. Spears with the rebound. 3:50 to go in the first half. Taiwan Terrell for Bryan. Gets it to Kawani. He'll step into a 3, and it's no good. Wiley with the rebound for Prep. 3:40 to go. Long lead pass. Rollins. Oh, watch out. Man, Rollins hit the ground hard as he was able to outleap Colum for that pass, and fortunately everybody is A-OK down there. They're going to call a foul on Chaz Colum as Martell Evans will come into the game for Alex Bullock.
You can hear the Bryan fans' reaction to that. They don't really like it. Prep's okay with it. But holy cow, it looks like both teams right now are starting to play out of a sense of desperation. Sometimes you get that in sudden death games like these, where the I need to win this psyche turns into the I need to do something right here, right now. Both teams are playing like that, and that could lead to some dangerous turnovers from both sides.
Martell Evans over to Justin City. 3:20 to go in the first half. Wiley back to City. Wiley again. Junior Jays still stuck on the perimeter, and now they draw the foul as they drive in. That's going to put Prep in the bonus a 1-and-1 coming up for the leading scorer in this game for the Jays, Myjay Wiley.
That's now 3 fouls on the past 2 possessions for Chaz Cullum, and he is going to have to take a seat.
Yeah.
He is in disbelief there at the end of his bench. And holy cow, how quickly the tides turn, going from 3 buckets in the first quarter to 3 fouls in the second.
Chaz Cullum still just standing there looking off into space with his hands on his head as Wiley gets the first free throw to go.
The guard penetration might be a great way for Prep to start changing things up, because the offense has looked a little stagnant at times, but if Wiley and the other guards start attacking like that, then that forces the fouls, and it forces Bryan to maybe loosen up the defense a little.
Yeah, good Evans, what a start for Wiley. 12 points in the first half. Big reason why the Junior Jays are clinging on to this 3-point lead. Jalen Spears had it poked away by Martell Evans. And last time the Junior Jays met up with the Bears of Omaha, Bryan, we talked about a pregame 2 weeks ago on February 13th. Martell Evans came off the bench and had 13 points in that blowout win, so we'll see what he can do. He's an excellent hustler, great defender, and has proven to be a great scorer at times.
You can see how much the coaching staff trusts him already. They're putting him on Jalen Spears.
Here is
hopefully the
Terrell.
feistiness can stop things.
Gets it inside and wide open. There was plenty of space there. Really a 2-on-1 on the inside, and it's George Back that gets it to go. And it's still a 1-point ball game. Omaha Bryan continues to run right with the Junior Jays. Rollins inside. Evans with 2 points. What a pass from AJ. And it's a 3-point lead for Creighton Prep with 2:25 to go.
Both teams showing incredible basketball IQ right now as well. You're seeing a lot of back cuts away from the ball that are resulting in wide open shots.
On the near side, here is Darwin Lofton, got it inside to Back, who is going to be fouled. That is the 6th team foul against Creighton Prep. And it's going to be called on Myjay Wiley. That is his first personal foul. Inbound coming from Taiwan Terrell, gets it into Spears, tough angle shot, and Rollins has the rebound as it does not go. Brendan Buckley ahead for Creighton Prep. He looks to the inside, finds Martell Evans, Justin City to Brendan Buckley, Wiley on the near side. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Brendan Buckley, City, Evans in the corner. Omaha Bryan continuing to force the Junior Jays to stay on that perimeter offensively. Justin City now to Evans.
Prep can work with this though. They're okay with their offense taking a lot of time as long as they get a good shot out of it.
Justin City, shot fake, drives in, tough shot, no good. Rollins going for the board. It's knocked out of bounds, and that will be Omaha Bryan basketball. As they say, it was last touched by Rollins. So with 1:35 to go, the Bears will get it back offensively as the scoring has slowed down quite substantially here in the second quarter.
You don't normally see this when we're talking about Prep, but right now Bryan appears to have the size advantage, and they've used that pretty well so far. They're getting in more often than Prep is, and they're also getting a lot more rebounds.
On the far side, here's Taiwan Terrell. 1:15 to go in the first half. Lam Kwani. Terrell again. Finds his man at the top for 3. That one's no good from Lofton. Evans races the other way with the rebound and gets the layup in. 4 points for Martell Evans off the bench, and the lead is 5 for Creighton Prep.
There's the high energy spark that got him such a high spot in this rotation. He can make defense to offense plays like that at the blink of an eye.
Jalen Spears, 3-point shot is no good. Brendan Buckley with the rebound. 42 to play in the first half. Buckley finds Wiley in the corner. Inside, Rollins gets the shot off the rim, but no good, and it is pulled in on the rebound by Jalen Spears. 30 seconds left.
Kwani done a really good job on Rollins so far. By my count, he's about 1 of 4, only 2 points. So the dominance from the bigs that we expected for Prep not happening. Thanks to guys like Kwani and the rest of the Bryan defense, they could cut it to a possession if they get a shot to go here.
Jalen Spears still holds on to it with 10 seconds left. Now he'll make his move. Spears to Kwani. 3-point shot, no good, it's too strong. Rebound will be knocked out of bounds, but with 2:8 to go, possession will stay with Bryan, so they're gonna get another shot at it.
Looked like the birdcage tradition of counting the seconds off early backfired on them. Extra time now for Bryan to get another shot, and they're continuing to show their prowess in the rebound game.
Spears got the shot out for 2. It's off the mark, and that will take us to halftime. Junior Jays 29, Omaha Bryan 24 in the district semifinals. We will be back in just a few moments to bring you the second half. Welcome back to the Hyder Center. If you stayed and watched the halftime show, you saw why we are up here in the broadcast booth and not down there on the basketball court. Brendan was able to defeat me in the shooting competition. So,
Wouldn't really call it a shooting competition.
Yeah, missed shot competition.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I will say I think part of it's the shoes. Normally when I'm playing basketball, I wear shoes designed for basketball and not shoes designed for commentary.
yeah.
Like you're wearing tennis shoes. You don't have any excuses.
I know, I don't.
I've got an excuse and I still won, so
Yep.
haha.
Yep, so now you've got your bragging rights. But getting
Let's
back
go.
to the game with the much better shooters, Creighton Prep and Omaha Bryan. Tell you what, number 25 team in the nation, Creighton Prep, in a 5-point game with a team that went 4-16 this year.
I mean,
What did you see in the first half?
This is a team that Prep beat by 32 in the regular season, but I think you got to look at two things here. The first is Brian's playing like they know that their season is on the line. Prep currently is not. And Bryan also had a game last night. Prep hasn't played since, what, last Sunday? Like about a week ago, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, so it's been a long time
Yep.
since these guys have played basketball in game situations. Luke Jungers has no points. Brendan Buckley has no points. A.J. Rollins has 2 points, and he's struggled to shoot. And what I've seen from Bryan really is on offense, they're getting into the hoop. They're getting to the hoop almost at will. Jalen Spears has 11 for them. Chaz Colum has 6. And George Back has 4. They've only hit 1 3-pointer this entire game. And the rest of those 21 points have been either layups and then 1 free throw from Spears. Prep, and then their defense has been playing incredible. I can't tell whether it's a 1-3-1 or a 2-3, but whatever it is, it's working.
Yep.
Because Prep has struggled to get the ball inside and drive. Majay Wiley's had an excellent performance, leads the Jays with 12 points. Justin City's got 8, but they've gotten most of their points out on the perimeter, and that's not how Prep is built. They can hypothetically win a shooting contest with any team, but that's not what they like to do. They like to run their offense inside out, get Rollins some buckets, drive in and get the layup, and right now that hasn't worked. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot more lineup switches like what we saw in the first half, because clearly this is not the Prep team that earned the number 25 spot in the nation, or at the very least they're not playing like it.
Yep, when I was watching Prep's practice on Tuesday afternoon, it was evident Coach Lukey was saying, hey, what we did last week doesn't matter. If we don't start executing and really focusing and taking this stuff seriously, Omaha Bryan or Omaha Northwest, whoever we play is going to be close. And sure enough, here we are. We'll see if the Junior Jays can turn it around and move on to Monday night. 29-24 lead for Prep to start the second half. Jays have the basketball with Brendan Buckley. A.J. Rollins, Justin City, trying to work his way around. Terrell gets it to Buckley, over to Wiley. Jungers to Wiley again. 3-point shot. That one is an air ball. So Majay Wiley, as hot as he was in the first half, comes out cold in the second with an air ball 3.
The Prep defense, I thought, at the end of the second half did a pretty good job at adjusting. And Bryan didn't have as much success in the second quarter. They only scored 8 points. Issue was Prep scored 9 points in that quarter, which is why Bryan scored 9, Prep had 8, which is why we're right back in this dilemma where Prep should be winning by more, but they're not because they haven't been able to do anything on offense.
Here's Terrell. Terrell for 3. That one is going to bounce off the rim, no good. Jungers with the rebound for Prep. Brendan Buckley up ahead. 50 seconds into the second half.
Jays have to keep letting Bryan shoot those threes. They've only hit 1 all game, and until they prove that they can consistently hit them, then there's no reason to guard them. They're looking like us out there.
Yeah, talked about in the first half, Junior Jays would much rather see those threes miss than easy drives for Bryan. Majay Wiley at the top. 6:53 to go in the third quarter. Jungers has Wiley. He will find Brendan Buckley over on the near side. Junior Jays still not able to penetrate to that inside of the Omaha Bryan defense. Now they'll try to with Rollins.
George Back doing a great job on Rollins right now.
Wiley with a nice drive to the basket, gets the pass from Rollins and puts it home. Junior Jays up by 7, and Wiley has 14 points.
Rollins secretly a pretty good passer, averages 1 assist a game, which isn't normally what you expect from a back-to-the-basket post guy like that.
3-pointer, that one no good again, and Prep letting the Bears take and miss those threes, as that time it was Abdi Bashir.
What I think Prep should do is keep running that play where they get it to Rollins on the block and then someone back cuts in, because that's been working basically the whole game.
Yeah, because Rollins attracts attention, and the defender that comes over usually leaves someone cutting to the basket wide open. Here's Wiley over to Brendan Buckley. 6 minutes to go, third quarter. Buckley goes over to Jungers. Still scoreless on the afternoon, and now he has it stripped. 3-on-2 developing for Bryan. They'll kick it out. Bashir for three again, but he traveled, and that is going to be Creighton Prep basketball. Bashir made the shot, but he was whistled down before taking it, and he's not happy with the call.
That might be the biggest travel of the season for Creighton Prep, because the momentum was going Bryan's way. Jungers had just been stripped. They had a break, and Prep's really lucky that Bashir took an extra few steps.
Here's Brendan Buckley. 5:35 to go. Wiley goes right in and gets it to go. 16 points for J. Wiley.
We're nearing career high territory.
Absolutely.
Right
he only needs 4 more to tie it, and he needs 1 more basket to break the season high. Here's a 3-point shot. Taiwan Terrell, and Jungers pulls in the rebound. So Prep letting Bryan take the threes. Wiley to Buckley. Buckley, tough shot, gets it to go, and the Junior Jays have come out firing here. They lead by 11 here. 3 minutes into the third quarter with 5:12 remaining, and there will be a timeout called for by Omaha Bryan. And we know what we've seen defensively from the Junior Jays, letting Bryan take and miss the threes, but have you seen anything differently from the Junior Jays that have allowed them to put up 6 quick points here on the Bears?
Well, it kind of looks like they've switched offensive philosophies with Bryan, because now Bryan, all the shots they've taken so far in this about 3 minutes of the third quarter have been three-pointers. None of them have fallen. And Prep, meanwhile, has really just started driving to the hoop and taking the contact. J. Wiley got 2 easy layups off of that. And then what we saw is he drove again, drew the defense, and made a nice dish to Brendan Buckley. So Prep really, really starting to push the effort inside, and that's working for them. Lead now up to 11, which I think is their biggest of the game by far.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. Bryan has kept it close, but the Junior Jays finally starting to pull away, and they'd love to keep this momentum going and build that lead even further. 5:12 remaining in the third quarter, and Coach Thompson, Coach Lukey seem pretty animated down there in the huddle. They definitely want the Junior Jays to keep rolling with what they've been doing to start this second half. Bryan still without a point here in the first 2 minutes, 48 seconds of the second half. So it'll be Abdi Bashir to inbound for the Bears.
The defense has to keep doing what they're doing and not get complacent, because that has been a danger for good teams like Prep in the past against weaker opponents, is you get complacent when you get a double-digit lead, kind of like they did against Bell West, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're not winning anymore.
So here is Jalen Spears. Kicks it out. Bashir fakes the 3. Finds Spears now, who's going to drive in, and Jungers denies him at the rim. Rollins going for a block, but instead he is called for a foul, so that's going to be 2 free throws coming up for Spears. Rollins called for the foul with 4:54 to go in the third. That is his first personal foul. So Spears will head to the line for 2 free throws. He's the Bryan leading scorer with 11 points thus far. First free throw is up and good. That makes him 2 for 3 from the free throw line today, as Lam Kwani will come into the game for Bryan, and George Back will take a seat on the bench.
So now Bryan going with the big man lineup. It worked pretty well in the first half, and they were able to shut Prep's offense down. Let's see what it can do in the second.
Spears makes both free throws. He's got 13 points now in the afternoon. Justin City to J. Wiley. City again. Wiley again. Doesn't take the 3. Instead goes inside to Rollins. He's double teamed. Finds Wiley on the outside. Buckley for 3. Buckley off the mark. It bounces up in the air. Rollins with an offensive rebound, and he draws the foul. So the big lineup for Bryan does not matter for big A.J. Rollins. He gets the offensive rebound and the foul, and he'll take a trip to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Just some great second effort there from Prep, and you saw the offense work a treat because Rollins had the ball in the block. You saw City cutting in, trying for an extra pass. Didn't happen, but then Brendan Buckley was open, couldn't hit it, and then Rollins got great position for the rebound.
Rollins makes the first free throw. It's his first trip to the free throw line today, as he's got 3 points now in the afternoon to make it an 11-point lead again for Prep. Second free throw is on the way. Second free throw is good. 4 points for Rollins, and it's 37-26 with 4.5 to play in the third.
Now Prep really trying to finish the Bears off. They're running the full court press now.
Spears, floater, gets it to
Wow.
go. Nothing but net for Jalen Spears, who now has 15 points. And now Prep will head the other way. Wiley inside. Rollins bounces off the defender. Great defense from Kewanee. And Omaha Bryan will head the other way with it, down only by 9.
Big lineup of Bryan continuing to give A.J. Rollins fits. He's now, I think, 1 for 6 and 4 points, 2 of them off free throws. So the Bears doing a really good job at not letting him work.
Spears, another tough shot, no good. Wiley eventually grabs the rebound. And here comes Prep the other way with it. Wiley, stop and go, throws it out of the reach of Buckley, who was open on the baseline, and that's out of bounds. Bryan takes over with 3:42 to go.
Prep's doing a good job at still trying to push the pace. But the only issue is they're pushing maybe a little too much, and that Bryan defense is lengthy enough and smart enough that those extra passes on the fast break become difficult to make.
Here's Spears over to Kewanee. He's going to pop a 3 real quick.
Oh, boy.
And Kewanee gets it down. It's a 6-point game again. How about that quick release from the big man?
Well, he is shooting 40% from beyond the arc so far this year. I'm surprised he hasn't done it more. But that makes it now a 6-point game, and Prep's really got to be careful to not overreact.
First points of the afternoon for Kewanee. Here's Brendan Buckley for Prep. Finds Justin City. He'll make his move to the basket. City with the left hand. That's no good. Rollins fights for the rebound. It eventually comes to Buckley. Kick out to Wiley. He drives in. Wiley gets it down. New season high with 18 points from I.J. Wiley. But Bryan's going to try for a quick answer. And now they'll slow things down. Kewanee for 3 again. Oh my goodness, Kewanee. Back-to-back from downtown. And it's a 5-point ball game.
Bryan fan section is getting overjoyed at Kewanee. And he might be the one player on the Bears for which Prep doesn't want to leave open.
Tough shot, and City gets it down. Junior Jay's back up by 7. The scoring is coming fast and furious as Justin City has reached double digits now with that shot.
The drive's continuing to work incredibly well for City and Wiley, but also for Jalen Spears.
Kick it out. Is Kewanee going to take another one? The answer is no. He will drop it back to Chaz Colum. Colum waits. Looking for something on City. Step back jumper. Too strong. Rebounded by Jungers. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Junior Jay's up by 7. Omaha Bryan still hanging around, making some big time shots. Here is Justin City with 1:47 to go. Wiley inside. Got knocked away. And now here comes Colum. Drops it up. Spears drops the hammer. And Bryan is within 5. With 1:39 to go in the third. What a play. The steal, the pass, and the slam.
Jalen Spears feeling himself right now. 16 points, and the Bears will not go away. The Prep fans chanting scoreboard. I'm not sure why. I don't think any of them expected to be in this situation. This is a 2-possession game against a 4-win team, and you're supposed to be a top 25 team. Don't chant scoreboard unless you're up 30.
Holy cow. 41-36 lead for Creighton Prep. 41-36 over Omaha Bryan with 1:39 to go in the third quarter. I.J. Wiley now has a new season high with 18 points, but Jalen Spears 17 on the other side for Omaha Bryan, and that slam dunk you just saw. And we will see if the Junior Jays can just hang on for dear life. The Bears are bringing all kinds of intensity and pressure right now to the Junior Jays, and this would be an awful, awful, awful way to go out if you're a Creighton Prep fan. So we'll see what they can do here to close out the third quarter and take it into the fourth.
You could argue that Prep should be losing right now, if not for those incredible acrobatic circus layups by City and Wiley. Prep's probably losing this game right now, so they really have to figure something out. And it's more offensively than defensively. The defense is still playing pretty well, only 36 points for Bryan. But the offense really has to figure something out, and soon.
That one is out of bounds off of Bryan, so Creighton Prep will hold on to it, and Connor Buckley will check in for Luke Jungers, who still does not have a point today. So the man who had scored 14 or more in 7 of his last 8 games, nothing from him today. Justin City, kick out to Connor Buckley. 1:15 to go in the third, inside to Rollins. Finds Brendan Buckley.
Pass.
Beautiful cut to the basket, and the layup is good for a 7-point lead.
And there's the off-ball back cuts that Prep's been using to such success tonight. They have to keep those up, though, because points are looking increasingly hard to come by.
Kick it out. 3-point look. There it is. It's no good from Darwin Lofton. And here comes MyJ Wiley for Creighton Prep with 50 seconds to go in the third.
If you're Prep here, I'd take my time and hold for the last shot because, as I just said, points are at a premium right now, and you want to give Bryan as few chances as possible to keep grabbing momentum back. So just take your time and get the best shot possible.
Here comes Wiley. Kick it out to City. He'll drive his way in. City, tough shot. City gets it down. 12 points for Justin City, and it's a 9-point lead.
The guard play has awoken for Prep in this third quarter. All the points except for 2 A.J. Rollins free throws have been by the hands of Justin City, Brendan Buckley, or MyJ Wiley. And that extends the lead back to 9. Now you got to get a stop.
10 seconds to go. Spears spins. Spears with the shot. Oh,
goodness.
What a floater from Jalen Spears. 3 seconds left. Long lead pass. Rollins alone. Layup is good. And that beat the buzzer. Creighton Prep takes a 9-point lead to the fourth quarter, 47-38. And as we have seen so far, anything goes on any given Saturday in Class A. Omaha Bryan hanging right around, and it is going to be a fun, intense fourth quarter here between these two teams.
Well, Jalen Spears, we thought he was waking up in the second quarter, scored 7 points there, 8 points this quarter. He is just continuing to have himself a night. Fun fact for Bryan, that they're 2-5 when he scores 18 plus, but 3 of those losses are by double digits. He is currently sitting at 19.
Yeah, leads all scorers, building on the 26 he put up last night. What a day for Spears.
So Bryan is not going away right now, and the Prep offense, except for except for a few isolated possessions where they've gotten a couple good drives, has looked kind of stagnant at points. So there's a universe where it's not that hard to imagine Bryan coming back from this and winning.
Junior Jays 47, Bears 38. 8 minutes to decide who moves on to the district final matchup on Monday night. And we'll see what the Bears put out. They've got Spears out, they've got Abdi Bashir out, they've got Darwin Lofton, Chaz Colum, and Lam Kwani, the same 5 that ended the third quarter. And the Junior Jays will bring out City, they will bring out Rollins, Wiley, and both the Buckleys. So Junger's still on the bench for Creighton Prep.
18 points in that quarter for Prep. All of them except for 4 off of guard play. And Bryan, 14 points, all by Lam Kwani for 3 and Jalen Spears on the drive. So they just got to, and what I think Bryan's got to do is just keep working through those two. Inside-out game.
Kwani for 3 again. Kwani off the mark this time, but the rebound comes right to Bashir. Abdi Bashir finds Kolama, who's going to try and get inside, kicks it back out to Bashir. And he will get it to Spears at the top, matched up with Brendan Buckley. Spears, kick out. Spears again with it, off the feed from Lofton. Now he's going to take a 3, a high arcing shot, nothing but net. Jalen Spears again with the magic touch, and it's a 6-point game.
Goodness gracious me, is there a shot that guy can miss? He's just going all out, and Prep's throwing their best defenders at him. These are guys like Justin City, who Chucky Hepburn called the best defender in the state.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks unstoppable right now.
City was fouled as he went up for a shot, so that's going to be 2 free throws for him. Second team foul against Omaha Bryan as Martell Evans is set to come into the game for somebody. City will go to the line for 2 free throws here. Already at 12 points on the afternoon. And you can make it 13 as he knocks down the first free throw. It'll be MyJ Wiley taking a well-deserved seat on the bench as Martell Evans takes his place.
Prep going now with kind of a speedy lineup to counter that size of Bryan. A.J. Rollins, the only big man in. Next biggest guy is probably Connor Buckley. So they're trying to counter size with speed.
Second free throw does not go from Justin City.
So they're trying to conquer size with speed, but the question is, will that work? Oh,
that's an airballed 3, and unable to save it was Colum. So Prep, still holding on to their 7-point lead, will take possession.
That could be a potential momentum killer if Prep plays their cards right on this possession. They've got to get a good score, though.
Here is A.J. Rollins. Martell Evans at the top. City on the far side. 6:45 to go in the fourth. Connor Buckley goes into Rollins. He's double teamed. Has to drive back out to the corner. Brendan Buckley, he's double teamed. And
look at the defense of Bryan.
A near steal. It does pop back into the hands of Evans, and now Justin City will settle it down with 6:33 to go.
They're using Prep's, what looks like Prep's own defensive strategy against them. Use the guards to push the ball handlers out to the perimeter, and it's working a treat right now.
Brendan Buckley gets around one. Stop jumper, no good. Bounce does not go either.
Oh my.
And then City comes flying in, knocked it out of the Bears' hands, and he's going to be called for the foul with 6:17 to go. So the foul's on City. Second team foul against Creighton Prep, and Omaha Bryan will inbound from their own end. First personal foul against City today.
Bryan's just got to keep playing their game here. They don't need to do anything crazy. It's still only a 7-point game with about 6 minutes to go. They just need to keep doing what's working.
Lam Kwani, another three missed by a substantial margin. Here's Justin City for Prep. 6 minutes to go in the fourth.
Looks like Kwani's starting to cool off from deep, and that's George back heading to the scores table. Might be coming in for Kwani.
Inside, Rollins has space. Rollins has an and one. A.J. Rollins making plays again under the hoop for Creighton Prep. And it's a 9-point lead, chance to make it 10 at the free throw line. So it is going to be back checking into the game, but it will be for Chaz Colum, not Lam Kwani.
That's going to be 3 on Kwani, though. So now another way that Bryan's got to be careful. Rollins could extend the lead to double digits with a made free throw.
See what he can do from the line. Gets it to go. 3 for 3 from the free throw line today for A.J. Rollins. He's got 9 points. And the Junior Jays lead is 10 with 5:45 to go. Taiwan Terrell for Omaha Bryan. Evans matched up with him.
Bryan's got to get Jalen Spears working with the ball in his hands again.
Here he comes. Spears, spin move, tough shot, and one. Are you kidding me? Jalen Spears does it again. And the deficit is back down to 8. Spears will head to the line for one more free throw.
Already nearing 6 points in the quarter, and we're less than 2.5 minutes in.
Goodness.
This is insane. That's Brendan Buckley we're talking about. He almost shut down Isaac Trout in Prep's opener. And here's Jalen Spears making him look like he's not even there.
Misses the free throw, though, so he will remain at 24 points, and the lead will remain at 8. Martell Evans backs out. 5:25 to go in the fourth. Justin City with it. Brendan Buckley on the near side. Back on him.
Prep's got to take their time here.
Buckley will do just that. Over to Connor Buckley now. Tight defense, though, coming from Lofton. Now Evans finds Brendan Buckley. He'll make a move to the inside. Buckley stops, runs into traffic, and fires an interception. It's taken away by Taiwan Terrell.
The perimeter defense of Bryan doing another great job at making life miserable for the Junior Jays.
Terrell, nice crossover, and he draws a foul at the last second on Justin City. Second personal foul on City, and the Bears will make some changes. Lofton back will come out, and it'll be Bashir and Colum into the game. And on the Junior J side, Wiley will take the place of Martell Evans. 4:53 to go in the fourth quarter. Inside, Spears backs out.
Here he comes.
Uh-oh is right. There he goes again. Shot doesn't go this time.
My goodness.
But right there he is for the putback. Jalen Spears, what can't he do? 26 points, and it's a 6-point game.
Now Prep really needs to start worrying about scoring. Speed's no longer an issue, because if they can't stop Bryan, they're going to need to answer on offense.
And Rollins does just that with the answer. 11 points for 11 and White, and it's a 8-point game for Creighton Prep at 53-45. 4:15 to go in the fourth quarter.
Look at how the Prep defense was all looking at Spears there. It looks like they've switched to a 2-3 now.
It's going to be a three-pointer. I don't know if there was contact or a deflection there, but it was well off the mark from Kwani. Here comes Wiley. No good right there for the putback. Buckley can't get it in. Rollins, though, is there. He is too strong. Then the kick out to Wiley. Junior Jays extending the possession. Wiley cuts right in and ties the career high with that basket. 20 points on the afternoon and a 10-point lead for Prep.
Great second, third, fourth, and fifth effort there by Prep. Timeout called by Bryan, their coach furious. And that might be how Prep seals the deal. That's how they've sealed the deal against a lot of teams, including Millard North, is when they get inside and they just want it more than the other team. And on that play, they wanted the ball more, and they got it.
10-point lead for Prep. 3:42 to go in the fourth quarter as it's 55-45. J. Wiley has tied the career high he set 15 months ago in December of 2019 with 20 points on the afternoon. Justin City has 13 for Prep. A.J. Rollins has played a big role down the stretch, reaching 11 points. And then on the other side, we've been talking about him all game long. Jalen Spears, 26 points. What have you seen from him that's made him such a special player, able to break through this Creighton Prep defense?
Well, it's just that he's been getting just enough separation against his defenders. It's not like he's crossing them over and he's got wide open layups and floaters. He doesn't have that. What he does have is he's got a lot of nice spin moves and half spins in his repertoire, and he's using those to get enough of a look at the basket that he's unobstructed by the defender, and those shots normally fall for him.
3:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Junior J is holding on to a 10-point lead. 55-45 as Spears will get set to inbound for Omaha Bryan. Taiwan Terrell for the Bears. City on him. Terrell to the corner to Bashir. He'll go inside.
Good
City's there for the
steal.
steal. They try to get it to Kawani, but City intercepts. Brendan Buckley for the Jays with 3:25 to go in the fourth.
Here's where you take your time. You're up double digits. You just got a turnover. Now you got to capitalize.
J. Wiley. Bashir on him. Wiley thinking about a drive. Now he's going to make his move. Wiley tried to split the D. Got knocked away, but City able to recover. Finds Brendan Buckley in the corner. 3:05 to play in the fourth. Connor Buckley at the top. Wiley going to drive in, and he gets it down.
High.
Yes, a new independent career high. 22 points for J. Wiley with under 3 minutes to play. The lead is 12 for Creighton Prep.
J. Wiley just doing an incredible job at driving in and finishing.
Tough shot, doesn't go, and the rebound pulled in by Connor Buckley. He's got Wiley up ahead, but instead he'll take it himself. Find Brendan Buckley, and the Jays will kill some time. Justin City over to Wiley. Bears playing tight defense, trying to go for a steal here. Buckley going to go inside, finds A.J. Rollins, and he gets it down. Rollins with 13.
13 for A.J. I think 11 of those have come in this second half. He has really stepped up his game when the team needed him.
Kawani, Buckley on him. Bashir out to Spears. He'll make his move on City. Spears, tough shot, and he gets it down.
Ridiculous.
And are they going to count the basket? It looks like they will. It's going to be yet another and one for Jalen Spears. So he's up to 28 points now. Got a chance to break 30. Foul was on Connor Buckley, and now we'll see some changes for the Bears. It's going to be Lofton and back in the game for Bashir and Kawani.
Looks like they might be trying to put a smaller lineup that can shoot in the ball game, and they desperately need that. With about 2:05 to go, they're down 12.
Second free throw good, or first free throw good from Spears after the and one. Now
Here's
the
the
Junior
press.
Jays with it, up by 11. City to Connor Buckley. Brendan Buckley under 2 minutes to go. He'll drive in. Rollins is there again. A.J. Rollins up to 15 points. What a day he's having.
That's what happens when you take the big men out. A.J.'s going to make you pay, especially after a great press break like that.
Taiwan Terrell. Omaha Bryan's got to get on their horse here. Lofton to back. Near steal. Back's going to take a three from the top. That one's no good. Knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Omaha Bryan as it was a fight between Taiwan Terrell and Connor Buckley for that rebound. And here they come, Bashir and Kawani right back in the game. 3:35 for Omaha Bryan. As it's going to be Lofton, and this time Colum taking a seat on the bench. 90 seconds to go. Quick inbound. Jalen Spears has eclipsed 30 points. He's up to 31 now as he gets that shot to go. And it's an 11-point game at 61-50. 1:27 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Brandon, what do the Junior Jays need to do down the stretch to just get this thing closed out and move on to play Monday night?
Stop Jalen Spears. That's literally it.
Good idea.
Lam Kwani had made 2 threes in that third quarter during that stretch when it seemed like Bryan might come back and take the lead. Those are the only points not by Jalen Spears in the second half for Omaha Bryan. If they figure out how to stop him, they'd probably be winning this game by about 30. But they can't, so you got to stop him, and then on offense, don't try to push the issue too much. You've got an 11-point lead. There's under a minute and a half to go. Just finish the job.
Now, Spears joins the exclusive club of players to put up 30 or more points on Creighton Prep this year. The only other 2 guys play for Bellevue West, the top team in the state. Frankie Fiddler put up 30 in the Metro Holiday Tournament. And then we all remember Chucky Hepburn's 32 in the second Bellevue West game. But Spears has 31. But will it be enough? Yeah. Will it be enough? Bryan trailing by 11 with 1:27 to go, and Creighton Prep will get set to inbound from the baseline with Connor Buckley.
I do wonder if that might be part of the problem, though, is that Spears is almost completely taken over the offense, because a one-dimensional offense with only 1 scorer does make it easier for the defense to stop him.
Quick foul. That's on the floor, so it's the 4th team foul against Omaha Bryan, as it's Taiwan Terrell committing the foul on Wiley, and they'll do the inbound yet again. Connor Buckley looking for an option. Goes for his brother Brendan. Now it's a race for the rebound. And Justin City with a great play, but now he's tied up. It'll be a jump ball, and Creighton Prep will fortunately keep it. Great hustle by Justin City to even make it a possibility for Prep to keep the ball.
Now it looks like he might be hurt too. We've seen that a couple of times this game where there's been a loose ball and a Prep guard has dove for it and ended up in a big pile, but City looked like he was favoring one leg coming out of that pile. Gotta hope he's okay.
So here's Connor Buckley, 1:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Bryan not fouling just yet, and now they will. Foul will be called on Darwin Lofton. That is the 6th team foul, or rather the 5th foul against Omaha Bryan. So still not bonus territory just yet. It'll be another inbound for Connor Buckley. So plenty of opportunities to force a turnover off the inbound for Bryan, but they won't here. Justin City pulls it in with ease. 1:15 to go. He's guarded tightly by Lofton. Looking for the steal. Now over to Brendan Buckley, and he's going to draw the foul on Spears. That's number 6 on Omaha Bryan, or actually that was Chaz Colum.
I think that's his 4th.
Yeah, it would be. That is his 4th. So 4 fouls on Colum. And with 1:10 to go, this will be the last foul-induced inbound for Creighton Prep. Next Bryan foul will put them in the bonus and send them to the free throw line.
And they want the ball in City's hands. He's 31st in Class A in free throw percentage.
Here he comes. There's the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 as it's against Darwin Lofton. So the Bears rack up the fouls, about 4 of them in 30 seconds or so there on that possession. And City will head to the line for a 1-and-1. Kuwani and Bashir will head back in for Lofton and Cullum for Omaha Bryan.
Now the rebounding lineup can come in because Bryan had the guys that were in to make sure that Prep doesn't get easy buckets on the perimeter and that could get to the offense players and foul them quick enough. Now you want to get the rebounds and you want to get going.
First free throw for Justin City. Gets the bounce off the front iron and good. 14 points on the afternoon for Justin City as he continues to stay hot. Second free throw coming to make it a 13-point Junior J lead. Up and too strong, and it's not going to get the bounce either, so Bryan pulls in the rebound. Spears quickly the other way. They'll have to push the pace. George back in the corner, knocked out of bounds by Mai J. Wiley with 57 seconds left. Fortunately, no cardboard cutouts to be harmed in that area of the bleachers this time, but Omaha Bryan will have an inbound with 57.2 to go.
They're 4 threes away from tying the game, assuming Prep doesn't hit the free throws, but they got to hurry.
And Spears fires it well over the head of
not
Kwani.
Do that.
Yep, Spears fires over Kwani. He's heading out of bounds, and Prep takes over.
Here comes the foul lineup again.
Yep, it's just back and forth we go. Bashir and Kwani check out of the game again as Lofton and Cullum come in for Bryan. Timeout Prep. Connor Buckley struggling to get that inbound into the court, and Coach Lukey will call a timeout, and both teams will talk it over with 52.6 to go, but barring something wild, things looking pretty good here for the Junior Jays with 52 seconds left. Winner of this game will take on the winner of Elkhorn South and Kearney, and that game will be Monday night here at the Hyder Center if the Junior Jays can hold on for the victory. If Bryan wins it, that game will be at the site of whoever wins between Elkhorn South and Kearney. So got business to take care of here first, though. Junior Jays trying to pull out the victory. Omaha Bryan has kept it close throughout, but it is a 12-point lead for the Junior Jays. And what's the strategy here for Omaha Bryan to try and make some kind of a miraculous comeback?
For me, I'd say it's don't worry about the inbounder. Like, I understand why teams do it and put a guy on the inbounder to make sure that he doesn't have an easy look. But at this point, your worry is the ball, not the guy out of bounds who can't do anything other than throw it. So I'd say if it's Connor Buckley to inbound, let him throw it in and just double team Justin City.
It's a big mountain to climb for Bryan. We'll see what they can do here. 62-50. Connor Buckley will be the inbounder yet again. They still have Spears right on him. Inbound goes to City, and he's going to be fouled, so another 1-and-1 coming for Justin City with 51.3 to go. Fouls on Taiwan Terrell, that's his second. As Kawani and Bashir will come into the game once again. This time, Lofton will stay in for the Bears. Instead, Terrell and Cullum will head out.
The switching continues. You know what I kind of find interesting about this game?
What?
I don't think Luke Jungers played in the fourth quarter.
I don't either. Yeah, I haven't seen him at all. So Junior Jays, if they can hold on, would win this game without a single Luke Jungers point. Can you believe that? City's first free throw is good. He certainly picked up the slack today, as he's got 15 points on the afternoon.
And here comes Jungers now. He's back in for Connor Buckley, who played an incredible game offensively and defensively.
Yep.
I think he's got 4 points for him.
Yep,
and he also played some great defense.
Always a safe bet to do some good things out there, Connor Buckley. City's second free throw is no good. So with under 50 seconds to play, Omaha Bryan heads the other way, down by 13. Jalen Spears, Lofton for three. That one's no good. Rebound poked back out to Lofton. He'll take a deep three. That one a little closer than the last one, but rebound comes to Luke Jungers as it's no good again. And Bryan certainly starting to slow down. I think they've realized that this one's over. And indeed, they are not going to foul prep.
Great performance, though.
Yeah.
They had the Jays running scared for
the preparation was, for a team that had one night to turn around and prepare for prep versus a prep team that had a whole week to turn around and prepare for Bryan. You've got to give the Bears a ton of credit for keeping it as close as they did, but it will be the Junior Jays moving on to the district final matchup on Monday night, the A3 district final, where they will play the winner of Elkhorn South and Kearney. 63-50 your final score as Creighton Prep victorious over Omaha Bryan here today.
I mean, we've already said basically everything. Great game from Jalen Spears. Great job by Majay Wiley to get inside and keep scoring. Great game by Justin City in the fourth quarter, especially some clutch free throws and passes. A.J. Rollins picked it up in the second half. But I think in the end, it's that the defense kind of figured Bryan out, and Bryan wasn't able to have the same success they did in the first half.
Yep, 31 points for Bryan's Jalen Spears. 31 of the 50, what a game he had, but not enough as Majay Wiley put up 22 for prep. Justin City and A.J. Rollins each put up 15. So for Brendan Preisman, I'm Tyler Reedy, and depending on the Hockey State Championship on Sunday, I might be here Monday night, I might not be. Brendan definitely will be no matter what. So
if Tyler's team does well enough, you'll get just me. I'm sure everyone will enjoy that.
Yep, so if I see you Monday, have a great weekend, everybody. If you don't, I'd like to thank you for putting up with me for this long this season. But, I'll see you later. Have a great weekend.
Happy March.
Yep, get outside today if you can. It's a beautiful day, but thank you for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.